Alice in Borderland is a show that has been on my binge list forever, and when I got to season 2 episode 7, I proceeded to see almost every important character that I grew to love just get absolutely bodied by one man. And who is this man, you may ask? The fucking King of Spades, bruh. A literal embodiment of a one-man army. Dare I say, Satan's greatest soldier, who should have honestly just been renamed King Von with the way he was airing all these motherfuckers out. And unlike all the other kings, queens, and jacks in this show who hosted an actual game with the players to play and win their freedom, bro said fuck all that, kill me or I kill you. And since the beginning of season 2, bro just started murking anyone he ran into, no questions asked. However, you would think that with some of the greatest minds of the show, with some of the most athletic and skilled characters, along with good chemistry, they could jump a military vet with a gun. But man, was I wrong. To say that this motherfucker was simply a skilled war veteran is such a severe understatement, because everybody jumping the King of Spades and Alice of Borderland has got to be one of the worst jumpings I have ever seen. Like, this shit was just so ass. Not because they had a bad plan or anything, but because their sorry asses were all just getting folded single-handedly by this OP ass motherfucker, and they couldn't do anything about it. And with all that being said, we're just gonna recap the whole fight between everybody versus the King of Spades, and to just show y'all how bad this attempt of jumping the King of Spades actually was. So after the players had taken out most of the kings, queens, and jacks, the only two that remained were the King of Spades and the final boss, the Queen of Hearts. And like I stated earlier, this motherfucker was everybody's worst nightmare. And off the rip, we get to see a mere example of the amount of plot armor this dude had. So the main cast is trading shots with the King of Spades when suddenly a car spawns out of nowhere, scoops bro up like he's vanilla ice cream, and crashes into another car that fucking explodes. Bro, from that shit alone, this motherfucker should be dead. I mean, somebody hit you with a car, rammed you into another car, and it went boom. Then the rando that hit him with the car starts celebrating, saying something, "We did it!" like his name Jason Tatum. But he gets instantly lit up, and bro emerges from the smoke looking clean, aura farming and shit. Like, dog, you are not Jimbo. Stop this shit. So the King of Spades turns back on our main characters and opens fire, and dog, I can't even lie, this girl Usagi has some of the cleanest parkour moves I've ever seen. She was for real moving crazy, flipping over, parkouring in between this car, rolling out, hitting this anime pose, and then running away. Like, that shit was kind of clean, I can't even lie. Meanwhile, this man Arisu can't hit a shot to save his life. Like, bro, if you were to ask me a question along the lines of who would land a shot first, Arisu trying to shoot his target or Shaquille O'Neal hitting a free throw, Arisu would make Shaq look like Steph Curry. Meanwhile, bow and arrow chick gets a clean shot on the King of Spades, and the main cast regroup inside of a building, and they come up with a plan using an explosive bomb inside a drugstore, with the main character having to set up the trap and using the other characters to lure him in. Because let's be honest, this man Arisu is a physical liability. He ain't doing shit. So the plan is set in motion, and slowly but surely they lure him into the alley closer to the drugstore, and it starts off with An getting a few shots off while the karate girl swoops in, tries to do a jumping back kick, but bro is not phased at all. He blocks her strike and almost pops her in the head right here, but she gets bailed out. And this is where tension starts building as bro drops his fucking vest, and that's how you know this motherfucker is locked in. He don't even need that shit. So he and Aguni trade a few shots, which is when homegirl comes out of nowhere screaming and charging at him with a fucking food cart. But he sees this shit coming, leaves out the way, and starts blasting. But then Usagi starts trying to kick all the AC units on his head with Aguni charging in, and this is where the jumping really kicks off. Queena gets a fucking roundhouse kick off like she in Cobra Kai, which bro is not phased at all again, and starts shooting at her. Then the bow and arrow girl come in, takes a shot, bro weaves that shit as well, and here comes An with a revolver, but she misses every single shot. And this is where the three others take cover, and what comes next is where everything starts to go downhill. Because these characters decided to take cover from the bullets that were being shot at them, it allowed the King of Spades to get an ISO on Aguni, which he proceeded to body slam him and nonchalantly toss him across the alley like a damn cartoon character. Then here come Usagi on some WWE shit and jumps on him trying to put him in a chokehold. But this dude just casually picks her up and just throws her off and into Karate Girl and told this bow and arrow girl to get in the fucking weight room. God damn, bro. An then manages to land a shot on him, but bro does some of the craziest shit I've seen. This man instinctively, almost like a goddamn Terminator, aims backwards and just started letting it rip. Then bow and arrow girl tried to 1v1 him out of desperation, but she just didn't have it in her. But as the King of Spades was about to finish off Aguni and pop him in the head, this girl pointed the gun out of the way and towards her, and she got lit the fuck up. And y'all thought he was done there? How about another one? Bro then turns around, flicks, and shoots on two major characters from the past few episodes out of commission because bro was just that locked in. And because the King of Spades shot this bow and arrow girl who is basically like a daughter to Aguni, he starts turning up. Bro charged at him, hitting him with a meat, and hit him with a Mortal Kombat finisher. And for the first time throughout this fight, had the King of Spades on defense. Dog, he socked him in the head and dragged him across the wall and threw his ass to the ground. And then got his get back from earlier, threw his ass across the alley like he in the Olympics. And I was like, okay, he finally locking in. Finish his ass now. But bro, unfortunately, it only got worse. Aguni started getting shit on by the King of Spades, and he got his ass on the floor and was choking him out. But then Kuno got him off of Aguni, and she started trying to lay the hands on him. And what y'all about to see was probably the worst part of this entire fight. The King of Spades whips out a knife and stabbed her. And the worst part was it wasn't just a one and done stab and she was dead. He kept doing it repeatedly. Then a bunch of sad music started playing in the background, and I was actually in disbelief when I saw this shit happen because there was no way they came this far just to go out like this. To add more salt to the wound, Usagi comes in and tries to stop him and choke him again, but bro ends up stabbing both her fucking legs. Oh, hell nah, bruh. And throws her off him, having her spinning like a goddamn Beyblade. And to cap off this failure of a jumping, Aguni attempts to get one last shot off to end it all, but bro dodges this shit and shot Aguni in the head and kills him. Or so we thought. Meanwhile, Arisu finished stanking up the drugstore and finds all his friends got absolutely clapped and draws the attention of the King of Spades, in which he follows him up to the drugstore door. But before he opens it, he has a little moment of realization where he's like, it would be goofy as shit if I open this door and walk straight into this obvious ass trap. But then the unthinkable happens. Aguni comes out of nowhere and shoves him into the store. Turns out the bullet grazed him and he survived. Not only did he survive, but everyone else who got shanked or shot was still alive. So Arisu and Aguni crash outside of the building, jumping out, and Aguni shoots the mini bomb mid-air, which explodes the store, and they barely come out victorious and finish off the King of Spades. In conclusion, they made this man way too overpowered. Like, it didn't matter who was on him, he just nonchalantly threw them off him and pieced everybody up. With that being said, this was one of the messiest and worst jumpings I have ever seen. Everybody except the main character sustained major injuries, but at the end of the day, they took down this fucking overpowered ass one-man army and went on to beat the Queen of Hearts. So who cares? Anyways, that's gonna wrap up today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and leave a comment down below on what show or anime you'd like me to make a video on next, and I'll see y'all in the next one. We out this, so